Hi, Steve Bostosh, Golf Magazine Top 100 teacher from my academy here at the PB Dye Golf Club in Maryland. Now, we have seen what happens with the TourAngle 0 and the TourAngle 180 when used separately, right? Let me show you what I think is the ultimate practice session. It's a little bit tougher, a little bit more awkward feeling, but I think it's the best way to practice. It's the most accurate feedback. So, Matt, we're going to keep this attached to the top clip, and we're going to put this inside the fingers and use this where the forearm, where the indicator rod's on top. So this is monitoring where my forearms are, where they're pointed, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're going to take the 180 and place this in between. And I know it gets a little bit awkward, right? And some of you out there may be thinking this kind of looks corny, but I promise you there's a lot of accurate feedback here. It's really good for you. And so, Matt, let's have you turn around and we'll hit a putt or two. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to line up the top red indicator rod with the bottom one, right? Mm-hmm. So with the TourAngle 0 and the TourAngle 180, they need to be parallel. What that does is tell me that your whole body's set up square. Now you can make the top rod move back and through. And I want you to monitor, really good stroke, let's try it again. When you do that, your focus is, your focus is going to be on the top rod moving, and we're going to keep the bottom one steady, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and do it again. And it's providing feedback that without these types of training aids, you just don't know if you're doing it properly or not. Now, does this feel awkward? It might look more awkward than it actually is.
It's okay.
Not too bad?
A little bit, but it's worth it.
Does it feel different than what you're used to, maybe?
Yeah, much more solid, and I'm paying attention to the fine details here.
Okay.
Of my forearms to make sure that they match.
So it's square to the bottom one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're kind of monitoring the top rod moving back and through, and the bottom rod is not moving, because I promise you, everybody moves with putting. And the guys who are more consistent just stay more centered. I believe that the people who, there's always exceptions, right? But the people who are the best putters historically typically are more square and more quiet. And so their hands are doing maybe a little bit less. I'm not saying you can't putt well using your hands. I'm just saying the more you use your hands, the more mischief you're asking for, right? Especially if you're not out there 7 days a week like a PGA Tour player. So we've seen what it looks like from what I call down the line, right? I want to show you what it looks like face on. So let's get you set up here and we'll hit a couple of putts. But again, the idea is to try to have both of the indicator rods level and parallel to each other. Now let's keep this one steady.
Not parallel. Here, set up. It just kind of looks. Okay, so let's just do it from.
So let me show you what this looks like from face on. We saw what it looks like from down the line. Now, from face on, we're trying to get both of the rods as close as we can, at least parallel to each other. But more importantly, I want them both aimed in the same direction, right? That tells me that I'm set up very square. Now, Matt, I want you to hit a couple of putts and monitor. This stays more steady, and focus on this one moving back and through in a nice even motion. 1, 2. Beautiful. And let's do it again. And the whole goal with this is to eliminate as much of the wristiness as we can. I'm not saying you can't use your hands. Beautiful. I'm just saying that the more you move and the more you use your hands, the more you're asking for trouble. And so if we can get you to practice with these types of training aids, your practice is going to be more effective, the feedback is better, and in the end, you're going to develop good habits and make more putts and shoot lower scores.